Hello guys! A couple of days ago I got a question from a guy from Norway asking me how I do my own chains. So I figured I should give my own view of it. I started out milling roughly 6 years ago now, and my first year I bought chains in bags, pre-made chains, and had a company grind them for me. I ended up paying roughly, currency goes up and down, but roughly 3,500 euros, dollars the first year. After that, a friend told me, but I mean, you should do that yourself. I mean, it's not like crazy expensive equipment. You should just get yourself a breaker and a mender and a grinder. So that's what I did. I first invested in a grinder. This is no pro model. It's a Tecomec Jolly Evo with a Marcusson CBN wheel. I think it's a CBN. Always get confused with that. But it's a CBN. It's some sort of synthetic diamond wheel. And that's what I use to grind my chains. And I do grind a lot of chains. Anyway, let's go to the subject of the day. To do that, I have made myself a mess in the shop with a few parts here. And we're gonna start with the basics. The first question usually is, what kind of bar do you have and how many links, drive links, do you need? On the majority of bars, they're gonna be stamped or engraved in the bar in some way. This is gonna be hard to see, but I'm gonna try to get the light to actually work in my favor today. In the light, like that. We have some numbers here. See, this is the 28 inch bar. It's got 63 drive links and it's a 3/8 chain. 91E is a number that's not important at the time. This is a beginner's guide. So we need 63 drive links. What you do then is take your chain, preferably out of a reel like that. So you buy it in a box. In the box, you will usually get like a bag with drive links and tie straps and so on. And then you have not all producers of these have these plastic bags with like this, but it's a reel of chains. Nice work. After you get the reel out so you can like try to measure it. I'm really bad at math and I don't have the what do you call it? I don't have the endurance, or what do you call it? It's not endurance. It's to count all the drive links. So what I do is I take a old chain and then I put it around a nail like this. So I take the nail, cut the head off, do it like that. I take the new chain, put it around the nail, and then you can see they are at the same height. And then I drag them out, and then where the old one stops and you want to make the new one, this is backwards as well, but you will get it anyways. So here is where I need to tie the new one. So we need to get rid of this tie strap and that tooth. So it's a good thing to have a marker. This has been squashed a lot, but a good thing to have a marker. So mark that tie strap that you want to get rid of. And then we have this thing. That's some sort of a vise, because this is what you're gonna put your chain in. There are different types of these. They have these where they are adjustable, but this came with this set of breaker and mender. So you're gonna have a vise. I've marked it on one side just to be able to see where and how I put my chains, because one way you will sort of screw it is putting it in the wrong way, and that's gonna be difficult, and it's quite fiddly enough. I only have one hand now, but I've marked it, and I like to have my chains this direction, like that. And then I turn the chains down so that the tie link, the shoulder of it, the silvery part here, gets on top of that corner. So this shoulder here gets on top of that. Then it's easier to break that rivet out. So to show you, see if I can get this to work. And this is the puncher. When you have the puncher, they have this, this is the actual puncher. This is the actual thing that you use to break the rivets. It's a good thing to buy a spare one, because sometimes when you use them a lot, the actual part that you break out the rivet will break, and it's a good thing to have an extra. So you put it in, and this is gonna be the wrong way for me, so I'm gonna flip the chain the way I want it. Like bend the chain in a bit, and that doesn't really matter if you do it the other way, so you have the chain the other way, face the other way. But remember, you want to break the tie strap that you marked. So we have our marked tie strap here. We put it under. We take the handle like that. Try to get it in the center of that rivet. Press down when you're in the center, and then you can let go of the chain. As long as you keep pressure here. And then you apply. I can actually do this without having the breaker fixed to a table. You can do this by just holding a hand on the side here, but you will have a firm and quite fast, snappy movement here to break that rivet, like that. Punched straight through, and then you move it. Focus in on the center of the next rivet on the other side of the same tie strap, and then we do the same. And then it's loose. And there, ladies and gentlemen, you just removed your first rivet. And it's not harder than that. It's really simple. You just need to be quite exact where you mark your tie strap and so on, but it doesn't really matter. The first kind of types of chains you do, remember, you get this bag with the tie straps and the other side, the counter side. So you have sometimes to both make wrong and make right. So it's not something that's difficult. Next part, if you count wrong, you just like add a new tie link, tie strap, and then you move over here to the mender. This thing have been prepared for being in a box. That's why it doesn't have this part, which is the thing that you turn quite fast, and that will make the rivet go over the tie strap, and form it into a piece of a lock basically. So I'm gonna see if I can make this some sort of a tripod. Next up is I have this small screw box with basically tie straps and so on. If you don't bend your tie strap, you can actually use that again, but I wouldn't recommend it on a brand new bar or a if you're fixing a, so to say, really new chain, because they do get quite worn and they will like hurt your bar. So take a new one, and sometimes they have this sort of mark on them. Don't have the outgoing part on the inside, because that will lock the chain. So have that on the correct side. These are different types of chains. This is a panther chain and this is an organ rivet. So we want to use the correct tie strap and correct pieces for correct chains. So you take that, you just insert it so it sticks in that part. You take the other end of the chain, bet we can do it like that, connect that, and now that's stuck. We put the finishing piece on top. Might wasn't the best idea. So now we have a part looking like that. This is still loose, and when it looks like this, now it's our time to mend it, which means we're gonna take that part and make it to look like the other side, the left side. I think it's gonna be the left side. So it's gonna look like this one, a flat locking piece so this doesn't fall out. And we do it on this mender here. And how we position this is we put the chain on like that. I usually hold one side of it. Like that. And now you want to add some sort of what do you call it? WD-40, anything, some sort of lubricant. And we just spray just a little bit on there. This was empty. Something on there, because it's a moving part which creates heat. So it sort of heats up that rivet so it can like flange out and lock to the tie strap. I'm gonna do it now, and what you do is you push this a little bit until you feel that it locks, and then you just spin this, and as you go you're gonna continue to lock that part, not this slow, and then continue to press on, because you're gonna be able to move that. And as you go, you can continue to press that. And I'm going to show you how it looks a bit faster now. So I'm just adding pressure on this side, and then this hand welds it basically. Now everything is on the same table, so it's going to be quite wobbly. But it doesn't have to get a lot of pressure before you can see that it's already a difference here. But you want to do it a little bit more than that. So we're gonna just lock it in again. like that, and then I can just push it on a little bit and then continue until you feel it getting a bit easy to turn. Add a little bit more, and then this is probably going to be the last part. When the first one is done, you just move, scoot forward, lift that up a bit, and then you lock it. And you continue. And there we have our chain. As you can see, one is significantly more crushed than the other one. I never had any of these come loose. A lot of guys will be very upset in the comment section, all you pro chain makers. Even if you make your rivet really crushed, like this one, never had any of these come loose. Of course, it's probably not the best, but I want to tell the guys that's new to this, it's not science. Just gonna need to do them a couple of times until you get the right feel for it, so you get more like this and the stock rivets than the overly crushed one. Other than that, it's really simple. You just need to basically get out of the shell, and you can actually save quite a lot of money doing this. I don't have the numbers in my head right now, but if you search for a reel of chains, and then you can count how many chains you can get on a, I don't know, this is 28-inch bar. It's quite amount of chains, and even if you're in the business of landscaping or you're a tree feller or whatever you do, I think it's probably going to be worth it, to be honest. For me, it really was. I hope I answered your question. I'm a miller on the move most of the times, so my gear is rarely set up fixed, except for the grinder. I only take that with me on really big jobs. But as I showed you, the mender is on this piece of wood, so I can clamp it on a site with two of these, and then I can just operate it. I even have sometimes unscrewed this and made it just by hand, like holding it in two hands and turning one of them. But that's for another episode. I think I have that when I milled the glue lamps not too long ago. Yes, sir. Hope you enjoyed it. Take care.